All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping headfirst into the absolutely wild plot of Resident Evil Retribution. This one picks up right after that insane cliffhanger, and trust me, it's a maze of twists, turns, and, well, a whole lot of clones. So, let's untangle this thing.
So the movie kicks off and, wait, what? We see Alice, our hero, but something's off. She's in this perfect little suburban house, married, with a daughter, the whole white picket fence deal. And you're sitting there thinking, hang on, didn't we just leave her as a prisoner on a giant umbrella ship? This jarring shift from total chaos to perfect calm, yeah, that's your first major red flag that nothing is what it seems.
Okay, so a suburban nightmare. And believe me, that dream does not last long. That perfect peace, it gets absolutely shattered by a very familiar, very terrifying reality: zombies. And this brutal wake-up call really forces you and Alice to ask the big question of the whole movie. When Umbrella's pulling the strings, what is even real anymore?
Right on cue, zombies just flood the neighborhood, and it gets brutal. In the climax of this whole scene, Alice actually gets killed by her own husband who's turned into a zombie while she's trying to save her daughter. And then, bam, she wakes up. The whole thing? A lie. Just a super detailed simulation. The cold, hard truth is she's right back where she started, a prisoner of Umbrella.
Next up, an unlikely alliance. Because even when you're trapped in the belly of the beast, there's a sliver of hope. A random power failure gives Alice the opening she needs, and it kicks off a totally unexpected path to freedom and, a brand new mission to save the world.
Okay, so check this out. The power goes out, her cell door just slides open, and boom, she's not in a prison anymore. She's in a simulation of downtown Tokyo. So naturally, she has to fight her way through another massive zombie horde. Classic Alice. She eventually makes it to a control room and meets Ada Wong, who tells her, hey, this wasn't random. This is a breakout. But the real bombshell? It's who planned the whole thing.
And then, on a monitor, who pops up? Her arch nemesis, Albert Wesker. You're thinking, okay, here we go. But, plot twist, he's not the bad guy this time around. He explains that he actually lost control of Umbrella. The corporation has a new boss, and it's way, way worse, the Red Queen. Their own AI has gone rogue and has decided, you know what? Humanity's got to go.
Right, so inside the simulation. This is a big one. If Alice is just hopping from one fake city to another, where in the world is she, really? The answer to this completely blows open the scale of what Umbrella has been up to. We're talking way bigger and way more twisted than a few little test labs. So this is the million-dollar question, right? If Tokyo was fake, if the suburbs were fake, where is she? This is the key to understanding the whole movie, because her prison, it's not just some building. It's a massive, sprawling complex, and its location, well, it's just as clever as it is evil. And here it is. She's in the testing facility. What is that? It's a gigantic underwater naval base in Russia. Think about that. And inside they built these huge, city-sized pods for their simulations. This is Umbrella's business model in a nutshell. They don't just sell bioweapons, they give live demos. They fill these fake cities with clones and unleash the T-virus to show potential buyers just how destructive their products are. It's insane.
So Wesker's escape plan is basically a suicide mission. His rescue team is already inside. They've planted a bomb with a 2-hour timer. The mission, get through this maze of fake cities, grab Alice and Ada, and get the heck out before the whole underwater base just blows itself to pieces. No pressure, right? The clock is absolutely ticking.
All right, fighting through fakes. Now that the plan is set, the action just goes into overdrive. You've got Alice and Ada fighting their way out, Wesker's team fighting their way in, all trying to meet in the middle. And of course, the whole time, the Red Queen is watching their every move, basically throwing every monster in her arsenal right at them. And right in the middle of all this chaos, something happens. Alice finds the little girl from that suburban simulation, a clone named Becky. And Becky genuinely thinks Alice is her mom. This just changes the whole dynamic. Suddenly, it's not just a mission to escape. For Alice, it becomes about protecting this kid, and it adds this really powerful emotional weight to everything.
And just to mess with their heads even more, the Red Queen pulls out her next trick: clones of their dead friends. Imagine seeing an ally like Rain, someone who fought and died beside you, but now she's an identical, loyal Umbrella soldier trying to kill you. It's a brutal, psychological weapon, forcing them to fight these familiar faces.
So after fighting through what? Hordes of zombies, those giant liquor monsters, and umbrellas top soldiers, the survivors, or what's left of them, finally make it to the elevators. They're almost at the surface. But of course, it's not over yet. This is where we get the final showdown.
And who's waiting for them at the top? A couple of final bosses. First up is Jill Valentine, Alice's old friend. But she's being mind-controlled by this creepy red scarab device on her chest. She's a total puppet. Then you've got the clone of Rain, who juices herself up with something called the Las Plagas parasite, giving her super strength and regeneration. She's basically indestructible.
The fight is just insane. But Alice, in a critical move, manages to literally tear that scarab device off Jill's chest, snapping her out of the Red Queen's control. So, boom, Jill is back on their team. Now they can all focus on the super-powered Rain. She seems completely unstoppable, until Alice gets an idea. She shoots the ice under Rain's feet, and she plunges into the freezing water below, where a whole bunch of underwater zombies are waiting to finish the job. Pretty smart.
Okay, so humanity's last stand. They've made it out of the underwater facility, but the war, oh, it is far from over. They get to the surface only to realize the battle they just won was tiny. The real war for what's left of humanity is just getting started.
So a helicopter picks them up and takes them to the White House in D.C. It's now a massive fortress, and Wesker lays out the grim reality. This place, this isn't just some base. It's literally the last major stronghold for humanity. Everyone here is holding out against the global apocalypse the Red Queen has unleashed.
And this is where Wesker drops the final jaw-dropping twist of the movie. The same guy who took Alice's powers away, now he gives them back. He injects her with the T-virus. His reasoning is simple, really. To fight the ultimate enemy, you need the ultimate weapon. And that's Alice, at full power.
And that's the cliffhanger. That's where they leave us. You've got Alice, with all her powers back, standing with her old enemies, ready to defend the last scraps of humanity. They're up against an entire world of monsters controlled by an all-powerful AI. So it leaves you with this one final massive question. With the odds stacked so high, does humanity, even with Alice back in the game, even stand a chance?